네, 안녕하세요. 오늘 게임 세션의 진행을 맡게 된 임정민입니다. 편의를 위해서 저 영어로 좀 진행을 할게요. 예. Hello everyone. We have a session for gaming discussions right today. So we have Fabien Siouff from Take-Two, and then we have Brian O from King.com. So please welcome Fabien and Brian. Can you make an introduction of you and your company to audiences?
Of course. Thanks, Jeffery. So my name is Fabien. I've been working in games for about just over 10 years now. Always working for Western companies, so people coming from the American markets, European markets, and trying to make inroads into Asia. So that's become my specialty. I work for Blizzard, I work for Electronic Arts, and now I've been working more than 5 years at Take-Two. Take-Two is a company that gives Grand Theft Auto to the world, very famous game. I broke records last year. And we do all sorts of console games and PC games. Yeah, we're the third largest company now officially in that business.
Hello, good morning. My name is Brian O. I'm the general manager of King Korea. The King is I hope a lot of people know our company. We are the developer of the Candy Crush Saga. Before King, I was a business development director for Gameville, before Joy Seed Entertainment. I've been in gaming for about the last 12 years or so.
Thank you, Fabien and Brian. So let's get to the point straight. So we are going to talk about the markets. And the mobile game market has been growing very fast for the last couple of years. Especially King.com showed a great experience, great growth with the Candy Crush Saga. And then went to IPO in New York. So what do you expect about the future growth of the mobile game market, and what's the status with the mobile game market right now?
In my opinion, gaming has been a big player when you have a new technology or new devices in the market. And a lot of people are consuming their time and actually enjoying their time with entertainment, including games. So the mobile games has been growing very rapidly for the last few years. I'm not sure it will grow as fast as it used to be, but I'm pretty sure it will grow in the future too.
Do you have any specific region, genre, or area, or what's the potential growth engine in the future?
So if you ask for market, obviously the biggest mobile market is right now in North America, in Europe, also very competitive. In terms of also revenue, Korea is a very important market, especially Google Play. And if you take a look at Asia, China is also a very fast growing market as well. In terms of genre of games, if you take a look at the top growing chart of every region, there are a mix of mid-core hardcore games along with casual games. But if you're a developer, I think you need to concentrate on which genre of games you are very good at developing.
All right, thank you. And also, we cannot we can miss the PC and console game industry too. It's a huge market, right? So we have Xbox One coming up soon. It's already came out in the market in certain countries. PS4 came out in the market. What do you expect of a PC and online game, and as well as console game market in the future?
Yeah. So we call this big screen entertainment. I think there's been a lot of growth in the mobile space in the last few years. Mobile so far, because it's mobile, has had to deal with a small screen experience. So I tend to specialize more on the big screen stuff. You could refer to it as the movies, video games. And I think that business is actually very lively. Last year, there was a lot of talk about the console business, maybe not that growing anymore, but when we saw the sales figures of PS4, Xbox One, of our own games selling on those platforms, we've been pleasantly surprised. And so you could see that now there's big appetite pretty much everywhere in the world for playing on your TV, playing something that is a very immersive experience, provide you with this wow factor of entertainment, and this is something that console and PC are going to continue to provide. So I'm pretty excited about that market.
I see. do you have any emerging markets or you have in your mind, or what do you expect about the emerging markets?
Absolutely. I think right now the big talk for us is China. China just lifted the ban for the sales of console this year, actually. So we know that Microsoft is going to enter this market with Xbox. We believe it's sometime this year. They haven't announced anything public yet. And in parallel, what's very interesting also is that a lot of the Chinese companies, especially the consumer electronics giants, ZTE, Huawei, this kind of companies, are putting out micro consoles. So basically, Android-based consoles that you can purchase for about $100, which will run games, TV content, any kind of entertainment really, but it will be plugged into a TV and deliver a big screen experience. And I think this is a very exciting field, because once you lower the price point and you have a wide selection of content, this can really unlock value in markets like China.
You just mentioned about the Android console device like Ouya, and we also have Lift or Leap Motion and Oculus and VR thing. We have a lot of new technologies coming out. What do you think about those new technologies affecting the game industry?
I think this is extremely exciting. For us, it's probably some of these technologies in some form are going to shape the next decade in gaming. This is a personal opinion, of course, but I think virtual reality is something that has this wow factor. If anybody in the room has tried it, I think instantly you see that this is something else. This is really a leap forward in terms of technology. So we have virtual reality headsets. If you combine this with network, for example, you can make it social. Part of the issue right now, some people think that because you have a headset on your face, it's not very social, right? You're basically closing yourself off from the world. But once you add network, online, communities element to this, it's very easy to do. Then suddenly you have a social experience. And I think Facebook realized that when they purchased Oculus, and that makes this association pretty exciting.
I see. Yeah, that's very interesting. Brian, how do you think about those new technologies affect mobile game industry then? I think they too are very related to each other, I think.
Right. If you take a look at the mobile games, they provide more a relatively simpler gameplay rather than PC or console. So it'll be a lot easier for developers to port into those technologies. Still, the question is how you could provide the same game experience that you play with smartphone and with Lim Motion, like for example, that you have to play in the air with your fingers and not touching anything, right? So that's something could be challenging for developers too. But then again, as Fabien said, it's exciting technology.
One thing, just on a note maybe on controller, is that if you have a headset, such as a VR headset, for example, or even something like Google Glass, it's harder for you to see your hands because you're actually closed off, right? So I think this kind of device, this kind of Leap Motion, for example, or Kinect, enable you to basically get rid of the controller, so you don't have to see your hands physically. So I think probably there'll be some association in the future between these two techs.
All right, so to close up the market discussion, I think I would like to ask you about the Korean market especially. So what's your expectation of Korean market, and what's your strategy to enter the Korean market?
So maybe let's start with so my specialty is online games, right? And it's pretty safe to say that Korea is a very big hotbed of innovation in that domain. Over all the years, I've been coming to Korea very regularly. I've always been fascinated by the amount of talent that's available here in networking technologies, online games, new types of business models. Some of the worldwide champions actually come from Korea. Nexon, NCSoft, those are really great companies. They started about 10, 15 years ago for most of them, and they've been very, very successful. So our strategy is to tap into that talent pool and develop online games in Korea. And that's a very bold move for an American company, but we think this is what's going to pay off in the future. For example, yesterday we announced that we are going live with a game called Civilization online. You might have seen that online. And this game is basically a Western type of game, Civilization, Momyung, as it's called here. And we're developing an entire new type of game, an online game, by a Korean developer, Excel Games. So this is I think,
That's
very
great
exciting
news.
for Korea.
So Civilization Online, we Korean players can play Civilization Online pretty soon, right?
Starting late May, actually.
Okay, cool. So what do you say about the Korean market, Brian?
You probably know it too. Before King, I was working in Korean company. So I was in charge of bringing Korea games to global market, global audience. But now I'm working at at King.com, bringing foreign content to Korean market. I had to study a lot more for Korean market too. And a lot of people know it too that Korea is dominated by Android. If you take a look at in terms of mobile devices, the distribution of Android is 90%. So they have the 9% market share in the Korean market, so iOS 10%. In global, it's about half and half, even though the Android is starting to grow faster than iOS, but still, both platforms are very important. But in Korea, again, 90% is dominated by Android, so you have to know the devices, you have to know the limitation of development in Android. So and also in Korean market, if you take a look at the free download chart in Google Play and Takuri chart in Google Play, they change so fast. Unlike the other markets, you see one game a top 10 grossing, and the next week it is gone. So that means that users are consuming the content very fast. I mean, it's a known fact that Korean users are spending content very fast, also in China too. So you have to be ready to provide those contents and keep communicating with you and the users if you want to be successful in Korea.
Well, yes. So I think you mentioned about the Chinese market a little bit. I would like to ask you about how do you go enter each specific country or market and do the localization things. What's your strategy or tactics to go enter into a specific market and to localize your games? Any tips or issues that you'd like to address?
I can speak from King.com strategy. So we are willing to work with any local platform or local partner who have big presence in the local market. So we are working with Facebook in global market. We are working with Kakao in Korea. And we just announced that we will be launching a Candy Crush Saga with Tencent in China. So we value the user database, the volume database that our partner has, and also we value the social virality of the channels too. And our game is built around that. In terms of localization, we obviously we have to localize into local language. But in terms of gameplay, we don't change much at all. We do adopt the social virality channels that local partners offer, like in terms of Kakao or Facebook, but we don't usually change the contents. We do, however, also change the business model just by little.
How about the Take-Two?
So over at Take-Two, we have a similar approach. I think it's you have three elements that are part of localization. Language, obviously, and we start with this first. But also, depending on the markets, we will always look at platforms and business models. We are good creators of content, but we adapt our business models from pay-to-play to free-to-play, for example, and we also adapt platforms from console to PC, from console to PC online. So this is what we've been doing over the last 5 years, and I think this has been proving quite successful for us. Another way to actually go at localization is to be a little bit more bold, and sometimes, for example, we have one big IP, but the content itself is not very suited to the taste in this part of the world. So if that happens, then we will develop an entirely new game. So that's really the heavy end of localization.
When you talk about changing or localization business model, do you mean the price differences between each different countries, or is it possible, or is it a good idea to make a different prices for each country?
If you're a mobile game developer and you have to provide the game to Apple and iTunes and Google Play, you don't have much room to offer the localized pricing. It's basically set based on the platform. I mean, by the platform side. So the challenging here is that if you want to extend to China or Southeast Asia, because of their buying power is smaller than those in Japan, Korea, or US, you would be making less revenue because of less buying power. So that is something a lot of developers have been asking those platforms to change. That I know Google Play has option to change the lowest tier to lower than $1, but then again it comes down to a buying power of the local market.
On our side, we either we keep the same prices, about the same. For a console product, for example, console game, you buy GTA 5 in Korea, it's going to be sensibly the same price here as it is in the US. So for products which are exactly the same on a global basis, we tend to stick to the same pricing. But when we start changing the business model is where we can be a lot more dynamic. So, and when we do digital distribution or when we do new types of online games, then we can play a lot with freemium business models, episodic content, and all the new business models. I think the gaming industry in general has been at the forefront of monetization. If you look at how to sell digital content, it's always a good idea to look at what the gaming companies are doing, because they're very, very smart into having the users recognize value and pay for it. It's not a lot of businesses like that. Music has struggled for a long time. Movies have been struggling as well. But games have been very effective, especially in this part of the world.
I see. Yes, those are great experiences. All right. So I think we have lots of Korean developers here in the event. I'd ask you to give our audiences about the tips or comments or how to do this to go global or each special countries and make better games. Do you have any other advices, Fabien?
So my first advice is a very general advice, is that I think over the years I've been trying to find formulas and recipes for content, for entertainment. And the biggest rule that I can find right now is that there isn't any rule. There are no recipes to make great content. If there was, everybody would be doing it. So I think the first advice is really be disruptive, try things that you really believe in. Don't try to imitate other games, or just because you see something that is successful, try to imitate. I think this has never really worked in gaming. And so I would put a high price on innovation and being disruptive, yes.
And Brian?
So the question was the tips for Korean developers, right? So if you are a mobile game developer, obviously you know that Korea market is second or third largest in the market in terms of mobile gaming. And the Korean developers are they have very good talents in development, and also they're very good at adapting the new technology and new changes. However, they tend to develop games that are very popular at that time of the development. So if you want to grow to expand it to global market, you have to plan ahead. So that means if you develop too much Korean specific content, then you would have a hard time in expanding to other markets. So I would say the plan ahead and study other markets too. Go over there and listen to what local people have to say and advise for you. At the same time, if you are growing in your company and if you want to expand it to, for example, set up a local office in other countries, do not send a Korean person just because they speak language. You have to hire a local person and get their experience to be successful in those markets.
Yeah, that's great experience, great advice. So I think, Fabien, you have many experiences working with Asian developers, or especially Korean and Chinese developers. What are Korean developers' weakness or strength? And then, you know, what's your experiences with them?
So I have, so I think in terms of strength, so let's start with this. Again, there's an incredible amount of expertise in technologies, especially network-related technologies. So that is something that Korean can be really proud of. There's been also a good ability to find ways to monetize, also in terms of business models. So all that is what make this market a billion-dollar type of market here. In terms of maybe weaknesses, I think there's one that strikes to mind is that I haven't seen a lot of breakthrough concepts in terms of games. And so on the innovation side or creative sides, there's been attempts, but there's not been something that truly can scale to a worldwide level. Not yet. I think that is going to come. It's probably from mobile games or things like this.
Great, thank you. So I think we have about 5 minutes. I think we can take a few questions from audiences. So any questions, or do you have anything to ask to Brian or Fabien? I think we have no questions. Do you have any final words to the audiences or here?
So yeah, I think maybe as a final word is that games have come a long way from just being for kids or just being for hardcore people. I think now everybody plays games, and this is going to continue. And if anything, I think your mother, your grandmother are going to play more and more, as do your kids. And so this is a very exciting field. I think it's really at the forefront of entertainment right now.
As I said in the earlier of the session, the games are taking a big part of any new technology, any new devices. So if you develop good quality games, then that everyone likes to play, then you'll be successful in the market.
Thank you, Brian and Fabien. Thank you, audience.